Captain Ibrahim Traoré's latest move is set to transform Burkina Faso and significantly impact French interests in the region. By launching the country's first state-owned bank, Traoré is challenging the financial dominance of French institutions, which have been accused of draining Burkina Faso's resources through exploitative practices. This new Treasury deposit bank is a bold step towards achieving economic independence and moving away from the CFA franc, a currency viewed by many as a symbol of neocolonial control. The establishment of this bank, known as Burkindlim, marks a significant shift in Burkina Faso's financial landscape, especially in a nation that has struggled with terrorist threats since 2015, causing severe economic and social disruption. Traoré, unlike many of his African counterparts, is demonstrating a commitment to fulfilling his promises of sovereignty and self-reliance. He describes the bank as both a tool and a symbol of Burkina Faso's economic freedom, aiming to serve the people directly and foster socio-economic development without relying on Western financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank, which are often criticized for their harsh lending terms and high interest rates. Since leading a successful coup in September 2022, Captain Traoré has been actively working to extricate Burkina Faso from Western influence, neocolonialism, and imperialism. He has invited both public and private sector entities to support this new bank, urging them to participate in building a sovereign economy dedicated to the nation's development. This focus on sovereignty echoes Burkina Faso's earliest struggles for independence from France, which officially occurred on August 5, 1960. However, like many former colonies, Burkina Faso remained under substantial French influence for decades. Past leaders, such as Thomas Sankara, who attempted to assert full sovereignty, faced severe repercussions, including assassination. Traoré's decisive actions against French policies have already prompted a significant withdrawal of French companies and banks from Burkina Faso. Major institutions like Société Générale and BNP Paribas have sold their local subsidiaries, while French diplomatic and military presence has also been drastically reduced following Traoré's orders. Before we continue, add your voice to the total liberation of Africa by leaving a comment in the comments section below. Do not forget to like and subscribe for more informative videos like this one. In a further step to consolidate his vision, Traoré has expelled French diplomats and suspended French media agencies in the country, accusing them of disseminating false information aimed at destabilizing Burkina Faso. In September, Burkina Faso, along with Niger and Mali, formed the Association of Sahel States, a military alliance that aims to counter the influence of ECOWAS after the bloc imposed what the alliance members considered to be unjust sanctions following a series of coups. Traoré's actions reflect a broader push for self-determination and challenge the long-standing political and economic structures that have tied Burkina Faso to Western powers. The country's pivot away from France and its pursuit of greater autonomy may set a precedent for other nations in the region, highlighting a shift towards a new era of African sovereignty and independence. Recent reports suggest that Burkina Faso, along with Niger and Mali, may soon distance themselves from the West African franc, a currency linked to France that has economically constrained 14 former French colonies. Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso has hinted at more sweeping changes beyond the currency issue. He emphasizes the need to sever all ties that have kept his country under a form of economic subjugation. By establishing a new bank, Traoré aims to enhance Burkina Faso's financial and economic independence. He, along with the military governments in Niger and Mali, believes that introducing a new currency would symbolize true sovereignty. The three Sahel nations are actively seeking to reclaim their autonomy, expressing fatigue over being economically exploited by France. Although there is no clear timeline for these changes, and the desire to switch currencies is not yet consistent among the three countries, the formation of a state-owned bank in Burkina Faso marks a significant step away from their dependence on ECOWAS. Historically, France introduced the CFA franc in 1945 for its African colonies, with the acronym initially representing Colonie Française d'Afrique, or French colonies of Africa. This currency system allowed France to maintain considerable economic and political influence over its African territories by controlling the currency's exchange rate and monetary policies. Despite gaining independence in the 1960s and 1970s, many of these former colonies continued using the CFA, now known as the Communauté Financière Africaine. For decades, French-backed officials promoted the CFA as a tool for monetary stability and economic integration. However, recent years have seen growing anti-French sentiment and a series of coups in West Africa, reflecting dissatisfaction with the perceived failures of French policies and their handling of regional security issues. Since 2020, there have been 6 successful coups in West Africa. Military leaders have accused French forces of inadequate efforts in combating terrorism and fostering insecurity. As these nations look to new partners like Russia, the demand for cutting ties with France and establishing a new currency has intensified. Captain Ibrahim Traoré recently claimed that France, with the backing of Benin and Côte d'Ivoire, has been destabilizing Burkina Faso. He stated that he possesses evidence of French military bases in Benin aimed against Burkina Faso, as well as audio recordings of French agents allegedly collaborating with terrorist groups. France has denied these accusations. Proponents of the CFA, often aligned with French interests, argue that its peg to the euro provides a safeguard against inflation, especially given the fragile economies in the Sahel. However, under the CFA arrangement, the Central Bank of West African states has been compelled to deposit half of its foreign exchange reserves with the French treasury, a requirement many criticize as a lingering colonial control. Despite facing multiple assassination attempts, Traoré has shown a strong commitment to his people. He has taken significant actions, such as cancelling mining licenses for Western companies and expelling French diplomats and military forces. These moves are part of a broader effort to reduce foreign influence and improve living conditions in Burkina Faso, including funding various development projects. The newly established Treasury Bank by Traoré is expected to play a crucial role in financing domestic projects and fostering economic resilience by investing state funds locally. This move is seen as a vital step toward achieving economic sovereignty and breaking free from neocolonial dependencies. In summary, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali are moving towards greater economic independence by distancing themselves from France's influence, particularly the CFA franc. Captain Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso is at the forefront of this shift, advocating for a new currency and financial sovereignty to break free from neocolonial ties. These countries are increasingly seeking alternative partnerships, like those with Russia, as they challenge long-standing economic and political dependencies on the West. The establishment of a state-owned bank and potential new currency are significant steps in reclaiming their autonomy and charting a new path for their nations. Tell us what you think in the comments section below. We explore the rich history, culture, and the ongoing struggle for sovereignty in Africa. Join us in this important conversation by subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you're not just staying informed, you're becoming part of a movement dedicated to reclaiming Africa's rightful place on the global stage. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Let's work together to spread knowledge and inspire change. Thanks for watching.